Good morning, sir. Once again, we are very thankful to have you here and we welcome you on behalf of Hult Prize, St. Xavier's College, Autonomous, Kolkata. Before we begin, we'd like to give you an introduction on what Hult Prize does and a little bit about our magazine, The Extraordinaire, for which we are conducting this interview.
Excellent.
Hult
Yeah.
Hult Prize is a global youth initiative, often referred to as the Nobel Prize for students, that inspires young people across the world to use businesses as a force for good,
Yeah.
acting as a marketplace for ideas, with the best idea receiving $1 million in seed funding. Our mission is to empower student entrepreneurs to to design creative and sustainable solutions for society's most urgent challenges, tackling issues like poverty, education, climate action, and healthcare. In our campus chapter, our annual magazine, The Extraordinaire, now in its third edition, aims to celebrate ideas that can change the world one page at a time. Our previous editions have featured respected and influential voices such as Harsh Goenka, Shiv Khera, Chitra Banerjee Deva Karuni, Ambassador Shiv Shankar Menon, Devdutt Patnaik, Hemant Oberoi, among many others. We're humbled to share our efforts, but also recognized globally when our team received the On Campus World Program Award in 2024 from the Hult Prize Foundation in London. Before we begin, we'd just like to explain the format of the interview. It will be a
Sure.
question and answer session, and we already have sent you a curated set of questions, which we have selected some. We have 10 questions, and
Yeah.
if everything's good to go, we can begin, sir.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, sir. So the first question is, you have often described your ideology as being one of compassionate capitalism. How
Yeah.
do you reconcile the ideas of capitalism, which are most often profit sensitive, with something like compassion? Does this imply a society where social good depends on charitable impulses of large corporations?
Well, I think that's a very good question. Very well thought out question. First of all, let us understand what is capitalism. Capitalism is about unleashing the power of human enterprise in an environment of free markets. Capitalism also means less government intervention, the government not operating as a player, government operating purely as a regulator, fair, impartial, data and fact-based regulator. It does not mean that capitalism is against the poor. Even though Milton Friedman, whom you have all studied, one of the anchor persons of pure market-driven economic growth philosophy, did say that at the end of the day, the task of a corporation is to maximize its profitability while being fair to its stakeholders, customers, employees, investors, vendor partners, government of the land, and the society. Now, we must understand that in a poor country like India, where there is so much of poverty around us, it is very, very important for the leaders of capitalism, the evangelists of capitalism, to make capitalism an acceptable philosophy for the masses. Because by and large, India is a very, very, very poor country with a per capita GDP of $2,818. And in that, about 800 million people receiving free ration. In addition, many state governments have started giving free electricity, free bus transport, etc. This is a very poor environment. Therefore, there is a lot of skepticism amongst the vast majority of people about the wealthy, about the rich, and about the corporate leaders. Therefore, for us to make capitalism acceptable to the poorest, we have to demonstrate to them that capitalism is not just for the rich to become richer, but it is for the poorest to seek opportunity to overcome poverty, to escape poverty. Number two, the rich corporate leaders must go out of their way to demonstrate that they have concern for the poor in the society. How do they do that? They contribute, of course, their taxes legally and ethically. They do not pollute the rivers. They do not pollute the air. They pay fair wages to the employees. They contribute a part of their profits to corporate social responsibility. And they will keep the society as an important stakeholder. And they will also lead a life, they will eschew a life of vulgar richness. They will lead a life that even the poorest people in some way can relate to. That is what is called compassionate capitalism. And that is, I coined this word in 1975 when none of you was born. Compassionate capitalism combines the best of capitalism with the desirable aspects of socialism and liberalism. Let me stop here.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. You mentioned that corporations have to keep society as a stakeholder, and that's exactly what Hult Prize seeks to do by keeping society and its well-being as one of the major stakeholders in our business enterprises. With that, we'll move on to the next question, which is: in the present scenario, several companies have emerged in the IT industry. So, what do you think makes the 44-year-old Infosys stand apart even today?
Well, when I founded the company in 1981, I assembled 6 younger colleagues of mine who were very young. They had just started their career in my small apartment, 1-bedroom apartment in Mumbai. And we started discussing what should be our vision, what should be our objective. One fellow said we must become the company with the largest revenue in IT. Another fellow said we must be the most profitable software company. A third fellow said we must be the company with the highest market capitalization in the country. And my style was to allow younger people to give their views and finally come in. I said, why don't we say that we want to be the most respected company in India? Why? Because if you try to earn respect from your customers, you will ensure that you will not shortchange your customers. You will ensure that you exceed their expectations of our performance. You will ensure that the quality of what we deliver is better than what they expected. Therefore, more and more customers will automatically come to you and more revenues will come. Second, if you earn respect from your employees, those employees will talk to their cohorts and talk about the goodness of this company, and that will help us to attract best talent to the company. If you seek respect from investors, you will have to follow the finest principles of corporate governance. Every decision of yours has to be based on fairness, transparency, and accountability to every stakeholder. And that will bring in long-term investors. If you seek respect from your vendor partners, they will stand by you in your hour of difficulty. for any reason you are not able to pay them on time, if you explain to them, give them all the data, they will understand. Yes, we do have gone through this, therefore let us cooperate with these people. If you earn, or if you try and earn respect from the government of the land, the government will set policies that will help you grow. The most important stakeholder is the society. Therefore, if you try to earn respect from the society, then you will automatically get respect from all other stakeholders, because society contributes customers, society contributes employees, society contributes investors, society contributes vendor partners, society contributes bureaucrats, and society contributes politicians. Therefore, the most important stakeholder for any corporation is the society. And if you seek respect from the society, you will seek respect from all the stakeholders, and automatically good employees will join you, long-term investors will be there, you will get more and more business from customers, your revenues will go up, your profits will go up, therefore your market capitalization will go up. That is how I argued with my younger people, and they all agreed. So we have conducted ourselves in a way that in every decision that we took, we asked, will this decision enhance respect for the company and respect for the management, respect for the board of directors, if we took this decision? That's the key decision we took, and that's what is unique about Infosys.
Thank you, sir, for that very enlightening answer. For our next question is, what is the one milestone that made you truly believe that you've made it in your professional journey? And along with that, how do you stay intellectually curious and grounded even after achieving so much?
Well, there have been many events that have brought a lot of joy and happiness to me. For example, the day one of our peons invited me to the Grah Pravesham of his house, of his 2-bedroom house that he had bought in a very good locality in Bangalore, based on the employee stock option plan. That was the day I felt very proud of Infosys, because Infosys was the first company in the history of India that made it possible for a peon to build a 2-bedroom excellent flat or house, whatever it is. Similarly, when Infosys was declared the best managed company, when it was a very small company, hardly about $100 million of revenue, compared to huge companies in the country, we were declared by Economic Times as the best company of the year in 1998, if I'm not wrong. That was a very happy day. So I can go on and on, but definitely the day when I felt very proud of Infosys was when I sat on that high stool in Manhattan at the NASDAQ headquarters when we were listing Infosys on NASDAQ. We were the first Indian company to be listed on an American stock exchange. And I borrowed the words of Neil Armstrong, and I said, it is a small step for NASDAQ, but a giant leap for Infosys and India. Therefore, bringing an Indian company onto the world's most famous stock exchange for high-tech companies, that is NASDAQ, was an event that indeed made me very happy.
Thank you, sir, for sharing with us those moments. They're very inspiring to us as young professionals who've just started out. Our next question is, You have led Infosys through multiple global downturns, from the dot-com bust to the
Yeah.
2008 crisis. How do you, as a leader, remain calm when everyone else is in panic mode?
I learned from my mother a very important principle. When there is a crisis, the leader should not panic. Leader should be calm. The leader should think of what action he or she should take quickly. For example, if in a house one of the children is pretty sick, if the father and the mother start panicking, the other child or other children in the house will be extremely distraught. They would lose hope, they would lose confidence. Therefore, that is the time when the father and the mother will have to provide confidence and hope to the members of the family, particularly the children. Similarly, in a company, it is the responsibility of the leader to bring in a sense of hope and confidence, and that everything will be all right if we continue our work, if we continue to work hard, if we continue to be disciplined, if we continue to have high aspirations, when the situation is tough. So that is how I have tried my best never ever to get upset when there is a crisis.
Thank you for your words about perseverance. Our next question is, in today's startup ecosystem, what do you think is the most important? Having a unique vision, having the necessary capital, or is it all about timing?
Well, there are two major requirements for an entrepreneur to succeed in today's highly competitive world. One, a differentiated business value coming from the idea, that is the product or services of the entrepreneur vis-a-vis his or her competitors. That is, tomorrow when you become an entrepreneur, you should say, my idea provides you better value than all the competitors that sell to you. It brings better productivity. It brings better quality of entertainment. It provides better health to you quickly. In other words, a unique, differentiated value proposition vis-a-vis your competitors. That's the first thing. See, most of us operate in bringing some kind of innovation to existing ideas. Very few people create discontinuity and invent. For example, the first computer was an invention. Mosaic, the first browser, was an invention. Internet was an invention. But very few such things happen in the history of the world. What happens is constant improvement of what exists today, so that the entrepreneur can obtain better market share by demonstrating to customers that his or her idea is providing better value per unit price to the customers compared to all other existing products. That is the first thing that is needed if an entrepreneur wants to succeed. Second, the entrepreneur must conduct an inexpensive market survey. Whether there is a market in his or her milieu for his or her idea. Let me give you a very simple example. Today, there is a blood sugar, real-time blood sugar measuring patch called Freestyle Libre 3. Libre 1 was there, Libre 2 is there, now Libre 3. But that's not manufactured in India. Why? Because each patch costs approximately about $50 or about 4,000 rupees, 4,500 rupees. And a patch works only for 14 days. In other words, in a month, you need 2 such patches. How many Indians are there who can afford to put in 9,000 rupees a month for having a diabetes patch on their own so that they can measure their blood sugar in real time? Very few. So that product, they have not yet manufactured in India because they've realized that that market doesn't exist. So similarly, when I founded my first company called Softronics, I found that there were very few computers in the country. And those few computers were with the government. Third, it was very difficult to work with the government to obtain software contracts. So I closed Softronics in a matter of 9 months because I realized there was not sufficient market for my idea. So the second thing you have to do is conduct an inexpensive study of the market so that you know that there is enough market or there are enough people with sufficient disposable income to buy your product or service. The third most important thing is talent. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, you have to attract talent, competent talent, and create a team that has mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive set of skills, expertise, and experience. Competent and value-based talent is extremely important because there is nothing as critical for success of an entrepreneur as the power of human mind that he or she collects with him or her. So if you have these three, and finally, all the people that you collect must have an enduring value system. They must all be ready to make sacrifice in the short term in the hope that long term will bring better prosperity. They must put the interests of the company ahead of individuals. They must not put their hand in the till when others are not looking at it. They must lead in austerity, hard work, and discipline by example. So they must be honest. They must have integrity. They must be transparent. They must be accountable. They must be fair in every decision. So if you collect such people and ensure that all of you have an enduring value system, then you are likely to run your marathon for a long time. So first, an idea with a differentiated business value to the customers. Second, an inexpensive market study to ensure that there is actually enough market for your idea in the country or in the world, whatever it is. Third, a team which has the required complementary strengths and an enduring value system. If you get these three, money is not important. It will all come. Don't worry.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. Listening to you, we actually found a lot of similarities with what Hult Prize as a foundation seeks to do. In fact, because you spoke of the diabetes patch, we'd also like to let you know that the Hult Prize Foundation, India's national winner, actually had a startup which was based on medical technology and how they would be sustainably scanning breast cancer detection using deep learning. So, of course, as Indians, our motive is not only for profit, but as you said, about being charitable and also making solutions that are novel to India and
Yeah,
important for India.
yeah.
With that, sir, according to you, the next question is, what kind of policy shift is essential for India to become a 10 trillion economy?
I have traveled to about 80 countries. Of them, maybe about 45 developed countries, about 35 developing countries. What I have found is that those countries where the bureaucrats and politicians do not interfere in the running of an enterprise are the ones that create prosperity and economic growth. So, what is needed is to create a set of policies that will make the life of entrepreneurs easy, that will require the entrepreneurs to interact with the government as few times as possible, that will help the bureaucracy, create systems that will help the bureaucracy take quick decisions to the requests of entrepreneurs, create a system that will provide full transparency for where that decision is lying, how long it's lying with whom, what is the reason, etc., to the entrepreneurs. In other words, we have to reduce bureaucratic delays. We have to reduce corruption. We have to make the life of the entrepreneur easier. We have to ensure that entrepreneurs spend 95% of their time in thinking of their enterprise, how to win better revenues, how to succeed in the market rather than waiting in the corridors of the government. I think if we succeed in those, I believe even we also have a chance of becoming a developed country.
So just to add on to your answer, how much do you think things have changed when it comes to this sort of interaction in the years since you've started Infosys? Like in the 1980s, of course, there was a very centralized system. 1991, we had the liberalization policies. Do you think things have vastly changed? Are we going closer to this idea of reduced state control?
Definitely lots have improved. There is no doubt about it. Thanks to Sri Narasimha Rao and Dr. Manmohan Singh, Sri Mantek Singh Ahluwalia, Sri Chidambaram, the economic reforms of 1991 happened. And that was a watershed event in the history of this country. Afterwards, successive governments, both at the center and in the states, have been trying to remove obstacles to the wealth creators, to the job creators. But that progress has been rather slow. Today, India ranks in the global ranking of complexity of doing business at 17. In other words, China is 10, we are 17, 1-7. So we have a long way to go before we can claim that we have created an environment where it is easy to do business in India. Let me give you one data point. It's not my point. My friend Swaminathan Ankaleshwari Iyer, who writes in Times of India, a brilliant economist, about a month ago, he wrote an article where he said one of the entrepreneurs who wanted to produce solar panels in India, solar panel manufacturing, he found that he had to face 2,375 approvals. These are not my words. These are Swaminathan Ankaleshwari Iyer's words in Times of India. So yes, I think we have a very tough path ahead of us. Our Prime Minister is trying his best. He's a very sincere man. But every bureaucrat, every politician of every party has to rally behind him and make sure that all hassles are removed, both at the central level and the state level, so that India can indeed have a rank of number one in ease of doing business.
Thank you, sir, for that very enlightening answer. The next question is, today, many startups want to grow fast, but you built Infosys patiently and sustainably. What would you tell young founders about building with values and ethics?
Well, first of all, those were the days when globalization was starting. India was also very close, was a closed economy. There were a lot of restrictions. There was no current account convertibility. Traveling abroad, you had to get permission. You couldn't open offices abroad. So there were a lot of difficulties. So we were slow. But today, thanks to the 1991 economic reforms and thanks to the work of successive governments, today's entrepreneurs can operate much faster. Now, when you can operate much faster, what that also means is you want to see the fruits of your work faster than we did. So I don't blame current entrepreneurs for their desire to see the outcomes of their work. So what is very important is to remember that while we all want to see the outcomes of our hard work, we all want to become wealthier, we all want to share our wealth with employees of our companies, that path still takes certain years. For example, Infosys today is in its 45th year. It took 23 years to get to the first $1 billion of revenue. Thanks to economic reforms of Sri Narasimha Rao, it took just 23 months to get to the second billion. Now we are at 45 years and Infosys is about a $20 billion company. But in that process of building a $20 billion company, it took successive leaders to accept deferred gratification, to lead an austere life, to accept that making sacrifice in favor of the company in the short and medium term will indeed make the life of the individual better in the long term. All of that has happened. That's how today you have probably 6-7 billionaires. You have about $10,000 millionaires, probably 50,000 rupee millionaires or whatever. But all of that took a lot of time, kindly understand. And it is the responsibility of the leader to communicate that nothing worthwhile is achieved in life without high aspiration, without a committed team, without a good value system, without hard work, without discipline, without honesty, and without innovation. As long as the leaders are able to communicate these to their people by walking the talk, by leading by example, then I do believe that the followers will buy that argument, because they would say, if this man is leading a simple life, That means he too believes that these values will indeed make him a more prosperous man in a certain number of years. So why not we do it too? So there is no principle like the leadership example of Mahatma Gandhi that the world has seen. Nobody in the world communicated the power of leadership by example as well as Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know if you know this story. Mahatma Gandhi used to travel by third class. Those days there used to be a thing called third class in train. And he would wear his loincloth. There would be thousands of people coming to see him at every station. His compatriots were all worried. Who knows, there may be some crowds, he may be kind of shot down, or somebody may give some poison food. So there used to be a lot of plainclothes people who were accompanying Mahatma Gandhi in those third class compartments to safeguard him. Sarojini Naidu, one of his compatriots, once she said, "It takes a fortune to keep this old man in poverty." It was well worth it. It was worth spending that fortune to communicate the power of austerity of Mahatma Gandhi, to communicate the power of leadership by example of Mahatma Gandhi. Therefore, the leaders have an extraordinary responsibility to lead by example. If you want your youngsters to come to the office on time, you come ahead of them. Then you don't have to give big lectures. Everybody will be watching you and they will automatically come on time. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, sir, for those words and for sharing your experiences with us. The next question is, through your support for the inflation projected scholarship at IIM Ahmedabad, you have reinforced time and time again your support towards merit-driven access to education.
Yeah.
Given that, what is your view on the long-held idea that IIM A, B, and C hold a disproportionate share of prestige over the newer IIMs? And how do you think this has impacted the growth of equal opportunity and talent development across the IIM system?
Yeah. Well, at Infosys, I used to communicate often very important principle. And that was stated by the following sentences. Performance leads to recognition. Recognition leads to respect. And respect leads to power. Therefore, if IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta, which were the first three IIMs, have become very prestigious, they became very prestigious because their alumni have performed very well in the corporate world. Why did they perform very well? Because the early teachers made huge sacrifice to teach these youngsters the various subjects so that they could indeed use them in running their corporations. So my belief is that in any competitive area, merit is very important. For example, do you take some cricketer who has failed 10 times and do you make him the captain? You don't. Why? Why not? So while merit is important, it is very important to realize that there is a large section of Indians who have been left behind by the tyranny and oppression of certain sections of our society on the majority of Indians for almost 2,000 to 3,000 years. We must accept it. It is the responsibility of these merited, elite, and powerful classes to work extremely hard to create better opportunities for these people who are left behind for no fault of theirs. Let us be very, very clear. It is not the fault of the weaker sections of our society. It is the fault of the stronger section of the society. Therefore, while we should not give up merit, those who are selected on merit must be asked to work very, very hard, because they have a very noble task. And that noble task is to ensure that the vast majority of Indians who were left behind for 2,000 to 3,000 years, they too join the mainstream, and they too join the prosperity of the merited, the rich, and the elite, and the powerful. So to me, the way I always looked at it is, God was kind to me, but that opportunity came with a huge responsibility. That was to create a large number of jobs. That was to share the wealth of Infosys with a large number of people. That was to ensure that Infosys paid its taxes properly. That was to ensure that we took part in corporate social responsibility activities. Because this country, thanks to a certain environment that existed in the last 2,000 to 3,000 years, the vast majority of Indians have not reaped the benefit of our progress. Therefore, it is your responsibility, it is my responsibility to work hard and smart to ensure that the poorer sections of the society who have been left behind for no fault of theirs, that they are helped. Whenever you get tired after working whatever number of hours, you have to say, I am working hard because I have so many brothers and sisters of mine of this country suffering for no fault of theirs. So that is the responsibility that rests on the shoulders of those of us who have been blessed. That's the way I would say.
Thank you, sir, for sharing those ideas of responsibility and doing something to change the world for the better. Again, that's something that has been inculcated in us, of course, through our education systems, but also through Hult Prize, and the fact that our college also does support initiatives of charity and giving back to society. With that, we come to the last question of this interview. Competition helps evaluate your progress among many other things. On what basis then does one get recognized as a true competitor in the IT services industry today? Are the standards based on your scale, innovation, or the kind of philosophies employed in building a principled and long-lasting organization?
Well, competition, I was told in 1994 by my friend late Rahul Bajaj, is the best management guru. You don't need to read management books. You don't need to attend lectures by great management gurus. You just observe competitors, learn from what they are doing, catch up with them, and do something better. That's how you increase your market share. And that requires innovation. Now, true competition is providing better value to your customers per unit price that you charge. That is what is called value leverage. Economists say that price is what you pay and value is what you seek. When you go to the market, even though a product A1 is more expensive than product A2, in your mind you would have made a computation of the value of A1 versus A2. So if A1 gives higher value than A2, even if A1 is more expensive, you will buy A1. Let me concretize that. Supposing the two vendors. Vendor 1 comes to you and the vendor 1 says, I have used some mathematical model, and I am providing you 200 rupees of value from this product, and I charge you 100 rupees. So what is the value leverage here? Value leverage is 200 over 100, which is equal to 2. On the other hand, a vendor B comes to you and says, my model, you can verify the model, shows that you will get 300 rupees of value, which is very similar to the other vendor who is giving 200 rupees of value. However, I charge you 120 rupees as my price. What is the value leverage here? Which is 300 over 120, which is equal to 2.5. Let me tell you confidently that you will buy the second one. That is the one that gives you value leverage of 2.5, not the one that gives you value leverage of 2. So in a true competition, people use innovation, people use legal and ethical methods to provide better business leverage, where business value leverage or value leverage, whatever you want to say, to the customer compared to their competitor. Now look at the beauty of this case. In the first case, the realization is only 100 rupees and the customer gets 200 rupees of value. In the second case, both of them are winners. The customer gets 300 rupees of value and the vendor gets 120. That is, he gets 20% higher price. That means he can pay better to his employees, he can build better infrastructure, he can do better R&D, etc., etc. Therefore, if you focus purely on value leverage, when you are competing in a market, that to me is the real competition.
Thank you, sir, for that very enlightening answer. We have just one more question. Given that Hult Prize is so focused on sustainability and that there is a lot of discourse in the global market about building businesses with sustainability, how do you think businesses in India should adapt to not only gain their share of profits, but to bridge this kind of socio-economic divide? And coupled with that, do you think Indian entrepreneurs should look back on reinventing things that have been a part of our civilization, or should we look to inventing things?
Again, I think those two are connected, but let me first talk about sustainability. They are not connected, so let me talk about sustainability. Sustainability is very important because this is the only planet we have. We have already seen the impact of the average temperature going up. Your unseasonal rains, your storms and all of that. So it is the responsibility of every living being on this planet, or every human being on this planet, to keep in mind that this is the only planet we all have. And it is our responsibility to pass it on in a better way to our children and grandchildren. If we didn't do that, we would be failing in our duty, because those children, for no fault of theirs, can be inflicted a more polluted, dirtier, a worse environment than we have. So sustainability is extremely important. That every institution can do that. For example, at Infosys, we said that we will recycle water. All our toilets and bath water, all of that, they would all be treated separately and they would be fed back. In fact, we reduced the intake of fresh water. I'm talking of about 12 years ago, 11 years ago, when I left Infosys, when I retired from Infosys, 50 to 60%, we had already done that. Today, other day I was there, we have built 10 lakes in our Mysore campus. We designed all our buildings such that it's not in the direction of east-west, so that the air conditioning load is minimized. Similarly, we designed and installed technology to switch off the power when there is nobody in the office. When there is no human movement, after a certain number of minutes, all the PCs will be switched off, all the laptop will be switched off, all the air conditioning will be switched off, all the electric lights will be switched off, etc. I don't know if you know, Infosys was voted in the top 8 in the world by Newsweek magazine in terms of sustainability success. It was in 2008, talking of almost 18 years ago. Yeah. Now, that's the thing. So we all have to make effort in our own area to minimize use of fossil fuel energy. For example, we bought 1,000 acres north of, about 150 miles north of Bangalore, and there we have used 250 acres of that to produce solar energy. It takes about 4 acres per megawatt of electricity produced. So we produce about 65 megawatts of power. In other words, we have tried to become self-sufficient, not 100%, as self-sufficient as possible, with green energy. So I do think that each one of us has to take up whatever initiatives we can. For example, if somebody is in chemical is a company, he or she should not spoil the river, right? They should not allow effluents to go into the river. So it is our responsibility, because we want to leave this world better for our children. And that's the least we can do to our children. What was the second part of your question? I forgot.
So it's about, because you spoke so much about how inventions are, less likely to come by. As Indian entrepreneurs and as young professionals, should we then look for reinventing things that, our civilization perhaps used as technologies in the ancient times? Or should we look at inventing new things? Is that what our approach should be?
No. You see, our education system has not been oriented towards thinking and problem solving. It is focused primarily on passing the exam. It is no value. Perhaps it made sense during the British time, because we were all hired as clerks and some minor officers and all of that. But today we are an independent country. Today our expectations are higher. Today the world expects better contribution from India. Therefore, yes, we have to think in terms of innovation and invention. Innovation is more common than invention, because inventions are very difficult, right? They take, whether it's electric bulb, whether it's telephone, whether it is internet, whether it is browser, whatever it is, or mobile phone, they are all rare. Now, unfortunately, none of this existed in our early times. So going back to our early times, maybe I am ignorant, but I don't know if we used mobile phones, if we used airplanes, and if we used internet and computers 3,000 years ago. I don't know. Maybe we did. So but however, in the absence of such data, I would not say go back to 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago and try to reinvent or whatever. What is needed is to completely revamp our education system, right from primary level up to the research level, to encourage children to use the formal method they use in the classroom in STEM areas. I'm not talking about history, I'm not talking about social sciences, which I don't understand. In STEM areas, to understand the nature first. What is the meaning of saying sun rises in the east? Why does the sound of a car get reduced as it goes away from me? Etc. The next level is to see the various lacuna that exists in our world, and then say, how can I use my knowledge of STEM to overcome those? For example, when telephone was invented, Alexander Graham Bell and others asked a question. When I speak, why can't somebody who is a mile away from me hear? Let me find out a method whereby he or she can hear me. That's how telephone was invented. Second, when some of the British thinkers said, why can't I see what is happening 100 miles from where I am sitting? I should be able to do that. Let me see how I can do that. That's how they invented TV, right? Somebody then invented computers. So every one of these things were invented because people found that there were challenging problems around them. That is what we have to teach our children. That kind of thinking, that kind of Socratic questioning, that kind of open discussion and debate. You know, let me try and remember. I think Richard Feynman once said, I do not want questions. No, I forgot. Anyway. So it's a very famous thing of Richard Feynman. So that basically what that thing says is, I want an environment where children must be taught curiosity, questioning. They must be taught arguing based on data and facts. See, unfortunately, Indian culture, we have for a long time said, no, he's an elder, so you cannot question him. That is also one of the reasons why we have not made major progress in any invention. I think all of those will have to change. That's what I say.
Right, sir. Thank you again for that very... Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So just one last perspective. Given that Elon Musk recently in an interview said that energy will become the new currency and that there will be no need for work, what is your opinion or view on this?
There will be no need for?
Work.
Yeah, you know, Elon Musk is obviously a very bright man, but I have always been brought up both in my family and by my teachers and in my work to disagree without being disagreeable. I believe that the most powerful instrument that has ever been is human mind. Whenever you put a certain constraint coming from maybe some technology, or whenever you say this cannot be done, the human mind will say, I am going to do it. So therefore, human mind will develop further and further and further to invent new problems and to solve those problems. That requires people to work. Let me give you a simple example. In 1975, there came a set of software tools called CASE tools, C-A-S-E, computer-aided software engineering tools. CASE tools helped us do requirement definition slightly better, database design slightly better, and they also came with program generators. They could automatically generate programs under certain circumstances. There were hundreds of articles written saying that there will be no opportunity for programmers anymore because CASE tools are there. This was 1976 or so, or 78, I don't remember. But you know what happened? There were a lot of bright minds who said, if these CASE tools can handle this program generators, if these CASE tools can help us do database design better, CASE tools can do requirement definition better, why don't we try and design more complex information systems? And they started designing, we are all part of that, designing more and more complex information systems, and CASE tools couldn't handle them and they were just forgotten. So I am not as radical as Elon Musk. He obviously is a very bright man, probably much, much brighter than me. However, there are others, Stephen Wolfram and others, who have a different point of view, and that point of view is the most powerful instrument is human brain, and there is no limit to what human mind can do. Let me stop here.
Right, sir. Again, thank you for that and for all the words that you've said that have resonated with us. Before we end, we would just like to ask you, do you have any feedback or advice for us as young professionals just starting out in their careers? What would you recommend as a starting point?
No, as I told you, this is a poor country. We have a lot of poverty in India. 800 million people have to be given free ration, free electricity, free buses. So it is the duty of those of us who are in a better position to work hard, to be disciplined, to have high aspirations, because God has given us this opportunity to make life better for those citizens of our country who have been left behind for no fault of theirs. For me, that is the only reason why it brings me to the office. I'm 80 years old now. I used to go to the office at 6:20 in the morning, and I used to leave at 8:30 in the evening, 14 hours a day. And I used to work 6 days a week. Why did I work? Because I said, what is this human life? This human life is, God has given me ability to think, ability to say what is right, what is wrong. I have been blessed, but my life is useless unless I can make the life of the less fortunate ones better. So therefore, I would say that the responsibility of those youngsters who have been blessed in this country is to make the life of the less fortunate ones better. Now, some of you may be so smart you don't have to work hard at all. That's fine with me. I have no problems. But in every day you have to ask a question. In what way am I making the life of my less fortunate people better? When freedom, when the people who fought for our freedom, when they were making huge sacrifices, whether it was Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Patel, Rajgopalachari, you name, Subhash Chandra Bose, and so many. Their dream was, they wanted the poorest child in the remotest village in India have decent access to nutrition, healthcare, shelter, education, and a better opportunity for its own progenies. That's the kind of India that they were fighting for. That job is nowhere near complete. Nowhere. We are still in early stages. Therefore, you people cannot at this stage say, no, we will not do that. You have a huge responsibility. There's a noble opportunity. This is the noble calling. Therefore, please work to make this India a more equitable society. Make this India a fairer society. And to do that, it is the bright, God-blessed, well-educated, powerful, and the rich who have to contribute. Otherwise, our life is meaningless. We can keep on eating and then sleeping and then go away. That life is nowhere. So please do that.
Thank you, sir, for all your advice.
Thank you.
With that, we come to the end of our conversation with Mr. Narayana Murthy. We thank you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule to come and speak with us today. Your words on leadership, values, and nation building have been deeply inspiring, and I'm sure all our listeners have learned a great deal from this. I want to leave you all with thought to reflect upon until we meet again. What is one value you think matters most for success in life and in work?